Hey guys, my name is Nick and welcome to my channel where I cover all things entertainment. Whatever you're watching, I'm making videos about. And I should probably start out by apologizing to you guys. I am so sorry. Anyone who caught my previous coverage on season 3 of The Sinner, you know I was watching each episode week by week, making videos, breaking down the episodes, analyzing theories, all that fun stuff. If you watch those are before I got a microphone, so extra special thanks to you for dealing with the poor quality. But then we reached the end, and I just completely stopped. I just did not do the last episode at all. I just, got caught up with other videos, stopped caring about this whole season, and, 2020, been a hell of a decade, right? But one of you pointed out, rightfully so, that I better finish this, and, I'm a completist, so here we are. We are finishing up season 3 of The Sinner, and I got plenty of thoughts. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna break down episode 8, then I'm gonna talk about my entire feelings on season 3 before giving you my final grade. Now, this is all spoilers all the time. So if you're just looking for a simple review of The Sinner to know whether or not you wanna watch it, maybe watch this after you've seen the season, or I might want to say just let me spoil it for you. Let me just ruin this for you because you might want to save the time because in my opinion, season 3 of The Sinner sucks. If you're not interested in hearing the episode 8 breakdown, you can go right to the timestamp and get right into my thoughts on season 3. But let's talk about episode 8 because I've got plenty to say here. Episode 7 ends with Jamie killing the police chief or, the commissioner, whoever the hell that guy is. He's golfing. Jamie beats his ass to death with a golf club. And so episode 8 opens with our main character, Ambrose, discovering the body at the crime scene. And of course, wouldn't you know it, right there at the crime scene is Jamie's cootie catcher that has all of the names of Ambrose's loved ones within it. So he's like, oh my God, okay, so Jamie's making this personal. He's coming after my people. So he calls his girlfriend Sonia, he calls his daughter. He's like, listen, there's a maniac on the loose. You could die any moment, find a bunker. And so immediately, Jamie just shows up at Sonia's house. He's just there. He just waltzes right inside. And at first they sit down and have a conversation as if this show has any amount of nuance, but then very quickly Jamie just attacks her. He's like, yep, I gotta kill you. It's literally my role in this whole season. Gotta kill your ass. So he attacks her. But because this show does not want to have any stakes whatsoever, Sonia alerted the police off screen before the scene started. So she's good to go. The police show up just in time to save her ass. Of course, how convenient. That is my biggest problem with this writing, especially in episode 8, how convenient it is. So this whole police squad shows up to save Sonia, yet somehow Jamie just slips through the back door and gets away. Like, again, way too convenient and just so stupid. It's just stupid. So right from there, Jamie goes and kidnaps Ambrose's grandson, which I'm just like, how are you even doing this? But okay, so he calls Ambrose, Jamie calls Ambrose, and he's like, listen, if you ever want to see this kid alive again, you gotta come home alone tonight. And Ambrose does. He's prepared. He knows what's going down. He gets home. Jamie is there holding the grandson Eli hostage like some tweaked out terrorist, and he wants Ambrose to play his cootie catcher game of death, but Ambrose is not having it. This is probably the best part. Ambrose just loses it on Jamie. He just starts bitching his ass out. He's just calling him out for being such a little bitch and an asshole, and they get into this big fight. They just start fighting with each other. The kid runs away, thankfully, but then Jamie and Ambrose, they're just like tussling in and out of the house. They're like in the lawn and in the woods and then back in the house again. Whatever. So Jamie gets shot in the stomach. Ambrose shoots him in the stomach. Thank you, Ambrose. And Jamie's laying there, he's bleeding out on the floor, and he starts freaking out because he's about to die. And it's like, yeah, Jamie, you've been trying to get close to death all season. Now here you are. How do you fucking like it now, you asshole? So there's this interesting cop-criminal dynamic that Ambrose and Jamie have going on, and that's coming to an end right here as Jamie's dying on the floor, and Ambrose is like with him in his last moments. And this is just where season 3 completely fails all around, but I'll get into it. So afterwards, the police, they wrap things up, blah, 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 blah. The season ends with Ambrose and Sonia hanging out, and Ambrose has a complete breakdown, and he just starts crying about all of the events that have occurred over the course of the season, and Sonia is there to comfort him, and then things just end there. The episode ends, the season ends, hopefully the whole series ends. But this is significant because in season 1, we saw Ambrose was with a dominatrix. Then in season 2, he got caught up in Carrie Coon's web of manipulation. And now in the end of season 3, he is with his girlfriend Sonia. He's like at peace. Through Ambrose's relationships with women, we've seen as he has progressed throughout the different seasons. And honestly, I feel like his arc is complete here. Like, it's good. They could just end right now, and I think we'd all be happy because, again, season 3 sucks. What has always made The Sinner really interesting and what set it apart from other crime procedural shows is that it is a whodunit and not a whodunit. We know who did it. We know what the crime was, but we don't know exactly what drove a seemingly ordinary person to commit a violent act. This allows the show to explore real human complexities within the space of criminal psychology, which I love. But season 3 doesn't really seem concerned with digging beneath the surface of things at all, and it just wants to manufacture cheap thrills. We've spent the entire season trying to explore Jamie, a man who in the beginning let a long-lost friend of his die in a car accident. And from there, we see a man who is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. He seems to have the perfect life. He's got a nice house, he's got a good teaching job, he has a beautiful wife with a baby on the way, yet he seems to be destined to sabotage it all. There's something eating away at Jamie. There's this itch he can't scratch. And because of the nature of this show, we expect to find out why Jamie is behaving this way. We want to know what his fucking deal is. And as the season plays out, we see him struggle to do normal things like not run into traffic, but we don't really fully understand why he's behaving the way that he is. In a flashback episode, we see him meet the friend Nick that he eventually lets die. They're at school, they're teenagers, they meet, and together they jump off of a bridge into a river in this big act of liberation. So it's like, okay, so Jamie, he, you know, at another rough time in his life, he had this big moment, this brush with death probably made him feel very alive, and now as he's approaching middle age, he's finding himself not giving a damn about cultural normalities. He is not up to keeping up this image of this perfect life that he has. Totally understandable. So it seems that he wants to have another one of these big moments of liberation. But what makes him go full American Psycho? As the season wraps up, Jamie hasn't just become a murderer. No, he is a stone cold son of a bitch. He beat 2 men to death. He tried to kill another woman. He kidnapped a child and then terrorized a detective. If anything, Jamie's earlier behavior seems to indicate that he's more likely to hurt himself or engage in behavior that would end up negatively affecting his life, like the way things play out with his job and how he loses it. Now, I'm no doctor, obviously. I'm just here trying to analyze character development, and with this writing, I'm doing the best I can. And all I can come up with is that they had no real solid plan for season 3. It feels like in the beginning, they wanted to make this story about masculinity and like exploring a man and what maybe drives him to do things he should not do. And then by the second half of the season, it's like they just realized they had nothing of substance to actually say, so they just threw that right out the window, and they were like, you know what, Jamie, you know, he's gonna be a murderer. He's gonna be a loose cannon. Any moment he could pop off. You should be real scared of Jamie, even though he just isn't, because in the beginning, they definitely tried to create a full character, and then they just turn him into a typical slasher movie serial killer. So they want to humanize him without giving him any real meat to work with, and then they want to villainize him without making him genuinely threatening. It's like, I would simplify it by saying they want to have their cake and eat it too, but it feels like they don't even realize that they want cake. They just want to have it and eat it too. I feel bad because I like Matt Bomer and I see him trying, but the material is straight up working against him. It just feels like everything in this season, aside from Ambrose, although kind of Ambrose too, everything and everyone is just a device. Jamie is just a device to push things along. Sonia especially is just a device. She's just there to be in the middle of the power struggle between Jamie and Ambrose. She's there to be the object of affection for Ambrose, and then she's just there to be victimized by Jamie. It just is unfortunate because she's really an important character when you think of the way that she plays into Ambrose's overall arc, but really there's not a whole lot there for her. Same with Leela, Jamie's wife, who is probably the most interesting character in this season. She's shafted the entire time. Her role is basically cry because Jamie sucks. Over the course of the series, we've seen our main character Ambrose connect with these different people who have committed these violent acts, but aren't necessarily evil. The idea of seeing Ambrose carry out his own particular brand of policing with someone who is actually evil is a really interesting idea. That would have been a really great way to conclude this series, but they didn't do that. They didn't. It's just unfortunate when you look at all of this potential to see the way that they just wasted it and the way that season 3 of The Sinner just completely misses the mark across the board. I'm gonna give season 3 of The Sinner a 2 out of 5. It kept me interested in the beginning and I certainly was there watching week after week, but as it went on, I just felt like I was having my own fun analyzing things. The show wasn't really giving me a lot of what I wanted. And unfortunately, I have no interest in a season 4. I think we're done here. I think we're good. What did you guys think of season 3 of The Sinner? Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it was so delayed. So if any of you watched my previous videos and now you're back again, thank you, thank you, thank you. I enjoyed having a show to cover week by week, so maybe if there's something that comes out, I mostly just binge stuff now, but if there is something that's airing weekly, maybe I should do weekly coverage on that. That could be fun. Let's find a good show to watch. Let me know in the comments below what you want me to cover. In general, what do you want to see me cover here on Watch This Now? I pretty much just have to go off of what you tell me. You gotta let me know what you want to see. Give me those views, give me those likes, give me those comments to let me know. Thank you so much again, you guys. I have such a good time talking about all kinds of entertainment with you. This is just always a good time. It's just a good time always. That is it for this video, but I won't stop you from watching another.